Hi there, whoever that is, and thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate you. Sis, sis. Hey, sis, happy Thursday. Happy, thoughtful, thankful Thursday. Some people like to say Thirsty Thursday. Hey, sis, what you up to? What you up to? What you up to? What you up to? You know what I'm doing. I just got done working out, so we out here getting the walk in. Get my cool down in. My long, long cool down. I love you too, sis. You know I love you. Look, just like blood sisters. Just like blood sisters. Thank you. Sis, I've been laughing today so hard. I've been seeing so much crazy stuff on social media, at work, in the streets. Sis, people be funny. sis, sis, people be so funny. I be like, okay, womp, 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 womp. I be like, womp, womp, you dizzy. What's your name? Hold on, the sun is blocking me. Noel. Noel? Is it Noel or Noel? Looks like Noel. Could be Noel. What are you doing dizzy? See, sis, I think Noel is a troll. Are you a troll, Noel? Are you a troll? Let me know right now if you're a troll. Because I'm going to tell you right now, trolls are welcome. Okay? If you are a troll, you are welcome as long as you don't act up, all right? As long as you don't cut up, as long as you don't act bad, and as long as you're not disrespectful to me or to anybody in my chat, and you especially better not be disrespectful to my sis. You see that moderator right there? Big Red ain't playing. You gotta be respectful, okay? I love the way you just said that I'm not a troll. Girl, sis, I was like, wait a minute, girl. And then it was, sis, I was so tickled. It was the way she was telling it, like it was like the Young and the Restless or something. And he loves me. He loves me. And I love him. You love the way I say that, Noel? You didn't tell me if I was correct in Noel or Noel. Is your name Noel? I want to say it right. I'm good. How are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. And I appreciate my big sis kicking it with Sin City. I appreciate you, Noah, for coming into the chat. Y'all see, you can be playful over here. You can rest over here because I don't have a big chat, y'all. I don't like a big chat because the more people you start getting in your chat, the more opportunities for your chat to go left. Okay? The more opportunity for mess and chaos that you don't ever have to start accumulating in your chat. So it's good to have, you want the views. Of course you want the views. That's why I say I'm nice to anybody. If you come in and you're trolling, you can stay, the trolls can stay too, as long as they're being good. Listen, you have a beautiful voice. Can we see who we're talking to? Nope. See, I see you starting to walk on the thin line, Noel. You heard of the thin line between love and hate? You heard of that thin line between love and hate? See, look, you just look at the legs move, okay? Look at the legs move. Look at the legs move. And I want you to get up your legs, okay? Be encouraged to get up and move your legs, or get up and do something, do some type of physical activity to contribute to your cardiovascular health. Thank you, sis. Right. See, my sis Sin City says, we appreciate you, Noah. So we appreciate you. So you got to act right. You got to act right. You got to act right now. Sis, I believe he's about to go. I believe Noah is about to go. Because I'm telling you, I let the trolls make it over here. I let the trolls make it as long as they're being good. But when you start talking about birthday shout outs and show me your face and all that stuff, We ain't got time for that. We don't have time for that. Noah, did you leave? No, did you leave? Happy Thursday, everybody. Y'all hear that motorcycle? A darn shame. A darn shame. Let me see if I can go in a different direction because that motorcycle is getting on my nerves. Hey, Annie. Good evening, Lunch Pride Mods and Chat. Hey, Annie. How you doing, Annie? We just left a wonderful live over there. Okay, we just left a wonderful live. Thank you for coming to the chat. I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming to the chat. See if you can walk and talk. You're doing great. But look, if you can't talk, don't worry about it. Just walk. The most important thing to do is to walk. Okay, if you don't have equipment, go outside and make equipment. Okay, utilize the equipment that you see. See how I utilize those steps? See, utilize what you have. See how I utilize those steps? You just gotta switch it up sometimes. It's shade right here, so I can see y'all better. It's a little bit of shade right here. Sin City says, hey, Annie. Every day, 6 miles every day. That's what I'm talking about, Noah. I appreciate you guys as well acknowledging me in this chat. Let's welcome Annie. Yes, well, Annie is always welcome. Annie is a great supporter. She's always welcome. Sin City is my big sis. We've been down like 4 flat tires for years. About a half a decade. Sis, I was just thinking about that the other day when you were talking about it. And I was like, you know, that's a half a decade. That's a long time. Cindy says, hey, Annie. Annie says, hello, Big Red. Hello, Big Red. Sin City switched the name up on us. Big Red ain't playing. Okay. My sis is not playing. You're from Oakland, California? Okay, okay. No, it's not about that cat. Sis, it's not about that cat. She knows it's not about that cat. Honestly, she said what it was about. As long as he was living with you in your space, it was okay because it's your space. But he didn't like the way you were living. He didn't like the way you were living, girl. So as soon as you move into his place, guess what? His place, his rules. His place, his rules. And she knows. Look, I'm gonna say that person. What I'm trying to think of a name, a nice name, a cute name.
Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me. I'll just say lady. She knows. She knew what time it was. Of course, when you're in your own place, it's always easier to be comfortable in your own place. And then whoever is coming to live with you, they're not going to be as comfortable as you. So when he went to his place, it's his rules. But see, she can't be satisfied anywhere because everywhere she goes, she expects it to be her rules in somebody else's house, in somebody else's home, where they pay the rent or the mortgage, they pay the bills, they buy the groceries, and all that stuff. And anything else that it takes to maintain a house, they buy it, right? I don't know, you know, when she's living with somebody, I don't even know if she buys her own hygiene products, like soap, you know, lotion, and things like that. She's so low down. Hey, Betty. Hey, Betty. Welcome in Retirement Days. Glad to see you. I'm a little bit early today, y'all, because as y'all know, it gets darker earlier, right? So I'm in a little bit early today because it gets dark earlier. And, hold on. You guys might not be able to see good. I don't know what's going on because of the way the sun is, but I can see you for the most part. And thank you, of course, my big sis kicking with Sin City, Annie. Okay, one of my top supporters, Annie. I appreciate you, Annie. I appreciate you, Sin. I appreciate you, Betty, from Retirement Days, for always stopping through, showing support. I appreciate each and every one of you ladies. I really, really do. And Noel, thank you for coming in and being good in the chat. Noel from Oakland, California. And to anybody else who comes across this live replay, look, give me a thumbs up. Y'all know I don't fuss about the thumbs up, right? I don't fuss about the thumbs, okay? I appreciate them though, like all content creators. We love it when you guys give us a thumbs up, right? We appreciate it, but I don't fuss about it. So how about giving me one? I don't fuss about it because That's just one way you guys can support, right? If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe. That's a way to support. You can ring my doorbell, better known as that YouTube notification bell. Okay, that's a third way to support. Once you ring that doorbell, tap it again for all and get all notifications each and every time I go live or upload a short. Hopefully the YouTube app will notify you. Okay, look, you can support by commenting, even if you haven't given me a thumbs up. If you're in here and you're talking, some people just don't like to do it. So if you're in here and you're talking, I appreciate that support. And you can look, one comment is enough. You watch for 30 seconds or so, a minute or so. Doesn't matter if you're in here the whole time, a minute, I appreciate you the same, because you could be anywhere else and you could be doing anything else. And hopefully you guys are multitasking, right? We have to multitask. We have to get things done. We can't just sit in here and hold the phone and, you know, so I understand that. I understand that. So I appreciate any time that you spend with me. Let's see, Sin says, exactly, sis. Betty says, hello. Y'all know when I'm walking, I got to watch where I'm going. It's a lot of steps around here, so I don't want y'all to end up laughing at me, okay? I don't want to trip. I don't want to trip. Annie with the kissy face emoji, I appreciate you, sis. Sitting. Did you see what Noel said? Are you still here, sis? Noel said, that female you're describing is a squatter. That was the description you gave me. You got Is that what it is, Noel? That's a squatter. Hey, some people don't care. Some people don't care, no. They'll just, you know, some people just like to take advantage of other people. Or they like to take advantage of situations, right? They don't like to really help with the rent, the mortgage. They don't really like to help with the bills. They don't like to help with the grocery bill. They don't like to help with the personal hygienic products. Some people just don't like to do that. I don't know. Some people have gotten away with being that way, though. Some people have gotten away with being that way for a long time. They just don't like to do things like that. You are trying to follow Annie. Okay, who we're talking about? Let me see. How can I explain who we're talking about? Some call her A. Some call her Big A. She can be okay sometimes, but sometimes she just cuss up. Sometimes she just cuss up. You know now, do you get it now, Annie? That was done when we first started talking. You got it. Did you catch on yet, Annie? You know her. You know her. She's been around for a long time. And her sister's been around for a long time. She got a couple of nephews that been around for a long time. Noah said the squatter, Annie. No, is that your way of saying keeping it cute? No, Annie, you know who I'm talking about? She is something else. Look, she has been something else since the day she stepped on this app. And she's always going to be something else. She's entertaining. She's very entertaining at times. And she's very funny at times. And even when people try to offer her words of encouragement and motivation, she doesn't, you know, I've never seen someone not take words of encouragement the way that lady does. Like the way she rejects words of encouragement, I've never seen it before. I mean, she totally rejects it. Now, I can understand when people are always like nitpicking with you and stuff like that. But sometimes people are really trying to tell her something for her own good. And she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She takes everything as like a slight. You haven't watched in a long time? I usually get bits and pieces of what she's doing from someone else or watching somebody else, or when I'm in my chat in Sin City's chat and we just over there having fun and stuff. So I usually get like the bulk of what she's doing then. And if it's something really funny or interesting or crazy, I'll run and watch. I'll go and watch it. So she's been having this little thing. You know, she had a man for a while. I don't think they're done yet, but I don't, as far as that living together, I don't think that's gonna pan out too well. That's looking like that's not gonna work out too well. Cause she's really selfish. She is really a selfish person. I never seen somebody be so selfish who had to live with other people like that. I only watched when LL did reviews on her crazy butt. I know. I know. When let me tell you, Annie. When LL does those reviews, and when Sin City does her review, her commentary, it's so funny. It's so funny. It'll make you go watch. It'll make you go watch, or at least it'll make you catch a little bit of it to kind of catch up on what's going on. And it's so funny. She's still the same old way. She's still the same old way. She starts stuff with people and then gets mad when people respond. That's how people are, though. They'll start stuff with people and then they get mad at the way people respond. I'm like, now, for the most part, nobody's parents are on this app telling and controlling them and telling them what to do, right? So if you're a full-grown male or female, full-grown man or woman, and you pick with somebody, you got to be prepared that for the response that you might get. And she just picks. And when she gets a response, she goes like, I don't know, she just gets mad. That's how a lot of people are. They either don't know the whole story and want to pop off and respond to something and don't know what's going on, or pop off with something, a little bit of what they saw, not knowing the full story. Or they just feel like they can say anything to people. Like they can say anything to people. And then when someone says something back, it's a problem. It wasn't a problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem unless you make it a problem. You made a problem, so you have a problem. So quit acting like somebody was causing a problem when you caused the problem. That's how she is. Annie says, dang. Noah says, how is she getting to be selfish when she can't even buy? No, look. She is very selfish. She will, she just like, she feels like people owe her things. Like, you know, she feels like people owe her things. Like if she comes to someone's house or their home, she feels like she should be able to record their place. She feels like she should be able to eat their food up. She feels like she should be able to lounge around and not clean up behind herself. She feels like she doesn't have to help with chores. So to me, that's selfish. When you say that's selfish, no, you're getting all the benefits of living in somebody else's home, and you get mad when they ask you to help clean up, but you expect to be able to go into the refrigerator, and when you really haven't bought anything, or when you do buy something, when that person does buy something, she's the one who eats it up, because if somebody else eats it, she's gonna have a fit. So that's very, 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 some people are like that. They can get all the help from somebody that they can, and they don't want to, offer anything back. Wait a minute. I thought you were describing me for a little bit. I don't know what's going on, and I'm describing the person. No, you something else. You are something else, Noel. No, are you a troll? Look, I don't think you are. I think you maybe just like to go around to different chats and make conversation. And that's good. That's a good thing. So, if you haven't subscribed, no, tap that subscribe button. Hold down my doorbell. It's known as the YouTube notification button. Okay, bell. And I hope you subscribe. She's still, yes, Annie. She's still acting like an entitled brat. She sure is. She's still acting like an entitled brat. I'm of the thought that when you have when you have family that have a lot of money, you don't have to give your family money. If you do choose to give your family money, that is nice. It's the familiar thing to do. It's the sisterly thing to do, the motherly thing to do. the childlike thing to do. And even when you extend out to cousins and aunties and stuff like that, you know, if you see them struggling, you any good person will help family, right? But nobody is supposed to think that they're entitled to it. Nobody is supposed to, Annie says at her age. Right, nobody should think that they're entitled to it. Of course, if I'm a millionaire, I'm gonna give my sister, my brothers, you know, the children, no questions asked about them, you know, but like I'm just saying your extended family, of course you're gonna help out when they need help, but they shouldn't feel like you're entitled to pay for everything that they need, especially when it comes to like luxury and things like that. If they need a vehicle, of course you're going to help out if you can, but they shouldn't be around here trying to get a Tesla. They shouldn't be trying to get the, you know, heck, if you get a Nissan Sentra, they should be fine. They have a car that they didn't have, right? But you have some people who feel like once a family member becomes rich, that they are supposed to be just as rich or wealthy as the family member. Now, if you worked on that thing together, whatever it is that, you know, caused you to have financial gain, financial wealth, if you guys worked on that together, of course. And of course, if a family is just I don't even know if it's overly wealthy sounds right, but if they're just wealthy to the Hindu, of course. But even then, they don't have to give you what they worked for. They don't have to give you what they worked for. And even if they didn't work hard for it, however they earned it, it's theirs. It's theirs. So a lot of times you'll have people who feel like they're entitled, you know, that you're supposed to pay their bills once you become wealthy. If they're your first, second, third cousin, you're supposed to pay their bills when you become wealthy. If you're their sibling, you're supposed to pay all their bills if you become wealthy. Now, again, if I become wealthy, there's a lot that I'm gonna try my best to handle for my family. Children first, parents second, you know. But some of these people have a really, really, really strange way of thinking that they're entitled to your wealth. To your wealth. And you even have people from the outside saying stuff like, well, that's her sister, she could this, or that's his brother, he could that. Stop spending other people's money. How do you know they could? How do you know they could? Stop spending other people's money. That is a big problem in America, just, you know, amongst groups of people. Other people always talking about what somebody could do with their money. That is a big problem. What you saying? No, I've been subscribed. Can't you tell? Does it show you on your phone or you can't see? Nah, either I don't know. I don't check that. No, you can like see, like once you're in your studio or something, you can see. But I don't go look for that. You know how many people would be there? Bye for now. And it says facts. Well, let me do it. Say bye for now. Bye, Annie. Bye, Sid. Noel says bye, Annie. Noel says bye, Annie. See you later, Noel. See you later. You never did tell me if it's Noel or Noel. I would think Noel would be Noelle, but Noel could be Noel as well. And it says, if ever became wealthy, 2 of my sisters and my 2 daughters are set for life. Yeah, the others I would have to think about. Right, you have those family members who, of course, if you get put on or you become wealthy, that's an automatic for them, right? It's an automatic for them. But it's like your whole entire family feels like it's supposed to be an automatic for everybody. They feel like it's supposed to be an automatic for everybody, and that's not the case. That is not the case at all. Because I mean, when people acquire wealth, you acquire it by having some sense about it. And if you're just going to throw out your money to any and everybody, and when I say any and everybody, I'm meaning family, certain family members. You know, how long will you keep that wealth? How long will you sustain that wealth? if you're just throwing out money, especially for those who aren't helping you to make the money. Like a lot of times people become wealthy, and they get put on or something like that, and they have business or businesses, and they say, you know, of course you're going to offer your family jobs, your friends jobs, and guess what? A lot of them don't want to work, not even for you, but they want you to help fill their pockets. They don't want to work for you, but they want you to help fill their pockets. Noah says, thank you, Annie. I appreciate you so much. I can go back to work just because you said bye to me. Annie says, and you know I got you and LL, my YouTube family. Yes, yes, Annie, you have been day one. And you all have always been supported. I love the way you support LL. Always. You always support. It's like family over there. Sometimes, you know, in the chat, a lot of us aren't in the best of moods. And sometimes she might not be in the best of a mood. And I'll come over there. But look, it still ends up like family. That's why I just love the originals over there. I love the people who, and I say the originals meaning everybody who was there when I went there like 5 years ago. I think it's been 5 years ago. Yep, everybody who's been there since I was there 5 years ago, you know, I just really love who stayed there too. You know, who never faltered, never left, maybe took a hiatus because they were taking a hiatus from social media, but they always came back and they were always, you know, supportive as a family. And I really, really do appreciate the way you treat me like family. I really do. You take a break, but you always come back. You're polite, you're nice, you're courteous in the chat. I love that. I love that. You don't expect too much. Sometimes on this app, people can expect too much of you. They can expect too much of you. And then when they can't get what they expect, they have a problem. Well, they just got a problem. They just got a problem. And with the kissy face emoji, I appreciate you. Right back to you, Annie. Right back to you. You have always been supportive. And I think a lot of times content creators don't say that enough. That's why I always try to say it. And I always try to scroll back through towards the end, and I try to catch everybody as they come in. So that's like the good side to not having a big chat, because you can really address everybody who comes through. Like Sin City came through here, then Noel, who I don't really know yet. Who else came through? Betty, Miss Betty from Retirement Days. Shawanda has been coming through a lot lately. You know, there are certain people. Jill's Comfort Zone comes through. Rock comes through every now and again. Rock doesn't come through as often, but she does. When she comes, she comes. Rock be busy. Rock be vlogging. She be doing a lot of stuff. So I appreciate people that do decide to come over and spend time. You know, I call y'all the real OGs. The real OGs. And I found y'all in the chats of real OGs. I found y'all in the chats of real OGs. And I just like the way it is when it's low key, not busy, not even a lot of new people. Of course you want new people to come, but when they come, you want them to be level-headed, level-minded, you know, not thinking that you got to kiss their badootie patootie because you're not expecting them, and I'm not expecting them to do so to me. But and not expecting too much out of you. Like I said, I always talk about positivity over here. And I think sometimes when you talk about that, it gets misconstrued. You know, it makes people feel like they can just clown and act any kind of way. And it says, this is fun to me. I have no expectations. Right. And it's just like you come over here, you're nice and polite to me. You're nice and polite to everyone in the chat. You're welcome over here. And I always say, you know, if you see someone in this chat who you don't click with or don't get along with, don't feel like you can't come and be an adult. You know, if you guys don't get along, not saying you, Annie, but I'm just saying if two people come in here that don't get along, you can say hello to me. You can say hello to the chat. You can even say hello to each other if you would like. But don't come in here slick way picking with each other, throwing subliminals towards each other, because a lot of times people like to say, hit dogs holler. Well, listen, if you're throwing subliminals, you want to hit dog to holler. You're just cowardly throwing subliminals. So don't be talking about hit dogs holler all the time. Sometimes you know, you can say things or put, oh my gosh, on your community tab. You can put up something on your community tab. Your community tab, which you know you get from YouTube. You don't have to pay anybody else on here for. You don't have to get permission from them to put anything on there. And you got people want to tell you about what you're putting on your community tab. And there's millions of people on this app. And sometimes you have words with 3, 4, 5 people. But everybody wants to holler, hit dogs holler. Well, yeah, sometimes they do. But if it doesn't apply, what they say, let it fly. So for every little saying you can use, there's another saying that can be, it's kind of like for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So for every saying that you can use regarding a subliminal or a post that somebody puts up, they can throw something right back at you. You want to say hit dogs holler? The simple answer to that is yeah, they do. Even when they're not being addressed. Hit dogs holler even when they're not being addressed. Something, and it says some people on this app is just weird. Right, they act like they know people in real life. Come on, Annie, act like they know you in real life and don't know nothing about you. Period. And then when they find out that you're not what they thought you were, after knowing you for this short time on this app, they're let down. It's like they're disappointed. Don't be disappointed by me because I'm not here to I'm not here for your approval, your stamp of approval. Never let someone disappoint you who you don't owe a stamp of approval. Okay? People aren't searching for your stamp of approval. So never let a person disappoint you. I hear people say that, like, don't know why would someone disappoint you? They're not looking for your stamp of approval. There's millions and millions of people, Americans, Europeans, Asians, Africans. I mean, there's millions of people from Australia, from all over the globe, the Philippines, you know, India, Indonesia, Haiti, Jamaica, Japan, China, Russia. There are people from everywhere. So what makes you think that somebody is craving your stamp of approval? Hey, Shawanda, did I just speak you up? I was just talking about people who have been coming over here and supporting, and I've been appreciating them. And I called your name. And a few minutes later, here you go. And it says, hey, Shawanda. Shawanda says, hey to everybody. You know, so if you on this app letting things upset you like that, now something's specifically addressed to you that you need to handle, that's one thing. But if you letting other things on here affect you, you can't even control your own household, the children in your house, the spouse in your house. How in the HE double hockey sticks are you going to control somebody hundreds and thousands of miles away from you? Somebody that doesn't know you, somebody that you don't know, somebody that doesn't owe you anything, somebody you don't owe anything. Get a grip. Get a grip. Get a grip. See, sometimes people think because of your personality that things are easy on you or easy with you or sweet with you. No. It is, and it can be, and that's what people strive for. But you always have those disruptors. You have those disruptors. It's crazy how some people think. As absolutely. And my thing is, when I find or I see or realize that my thinking process is totally different from somebody else's, guess what? That doesn't have to be a bad thing. That can be a good thing because we often can learn from each other that way. We should strive to be different, right? Many of us are going to be similar because there's so many of us. And for that same reason, the fact that there's so many of us, we're going to be different and should strive to be different, right? And that can really be a good thing. Also, on the flip side, when you're so different, it could be a bad thing. And I really don't see it being a bad thing on social media because if you're that different and you don't like what you see, stay away. You don't like what you hear, stay away. Go to a different direction, go to a different area, go to a different platform, go to a different channel, go to a different something. Like whatever you see, if you don't like what you see, if you don't like what you hear, leave, go away. Don't look at it, don't watch it, don't listen to it. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. But sometimes people can't do that. Have y'all ever known that person in your life that just can't do that? They can't ignore things. They have to address everything. And he says, did I say any cessation on the yes? I did. I said that. They just have to address everything. And I'm like, that's on you if you feel like you have to address everything. You don't have to address every single thing. And the main ones that holler, ain't nobody doing this, ain't nobody doing that. They the main ones that's always addressing something. Like, what good is it gonna do you? Stop getting your blood pressure up over people who you mean nothing to them. And they mean nothing to you. It's like you gotta learn to stop getting your blood pressure. And sometimes it's a process. You know, it is a process. You have to, that's something you do have to learn to do. You know, that's on your job, at church, in your organizations that you may be a member of. You know, sometimes you have to learn not to allow people to get to you. Because most times people are trying to draw some type of negative reaction from you. Especially if you seem like you're on the good tip. You're on the good foot. Like you don't like that type of stuff. The devil will send 1, 2, 3 at a time to see if they can just flip your stuff upside down. And when they flip your stuff upside down and you flip it back up right side up, then they say you're a problem. They say you're a problem. It's amazing that they say you're a problem. You come on here, people, I would think generally speaking, and I believe that. I do. I always say that I believe that apps were created for networking purposes. Like the copyright 107 says, entertainment purposes, educational purposes, informational purposes only, right? So those are all good things. But just leave it up to people. Leave it up to people to turn anything meant for good into bad. And to really, really think that what they feel takes precedence, what they feel takes precedence, or what they feel is more important than anything else. Leave it up to people to think that. And as I say, the copyright 107, please remember that anything I say in this video is for informational purposes only, okay? YouTube does not hand us out licenses. But those of us who have a professional license, a training license, or any type of certification, we need to make those personalized disclaimers. If you don't have that, why are you disclaiming? Okay. Now, if you don't have that, you really shouldn't have to make a disclaimer, because you really shouldn't be putting out information that you really don't know about. Now, that being said, you don't have to go and get formal education to know things, but you do need to let people know, because we are talking to the masses. There may be 3 people in here, 7 people in here, 8 people in here, but you never know who will catch the replay. And that being said, anything I say over here or do over here, please do so at your own risk. In this chat, we drop nuggets for each other. I have a very smart, educated, and talented chat. The members of my chat are very knowledgeable. They're going to tell you things that work for them. They're going to tell you their experiences and things that they know about the same way I do. But does it mean it'll work for everybody who's hearing this live replay or this live as it's live? No, it doesn't mean that it'll work for everybody, okay? So you have to know that if you do anything or if you say anything, do it at your own risk. Make sure any nuggets that you pick up in this chat, from this chat, that you go and do your research on. And make sure that you're going to reputable sources when you do your research. The .govs, the .edus, okay? Did I say .govs, the .govs, the .edus? And some of the .coms are okay. Some of the .coms and the .nets are okay. You just have to make sure that the source itself is reputable. And just, you know, you just can't say, oh, I Googled it. Because Google can really be your friend. But Google can give some people a false sense of education. Google can really be your friend, but sometimes people take it too far and they get a false sense of education. So do your research. Go to Google. It's very, very, very handy. It's a very great resource. But make sure that when you go to Google, you're using reputable sources, okay? Because a lot of people pay just to be at the top of the search. A lot of people pay to be at the top of the search when you Google. So .govs, .orgs, .edus, depending on which ones they are, those are usually the most reputable, the most knowledgeable. So take the nuggets that you get from here, research, and as always, before starting, restarting, or even ending any exercise plan, routine, or regimen, always contact your primary healthcare provider. Now, I don't know a primary healthcare provider in the world that doesn't want you to get up and move and walk. But if you know that you have certain limitations, make sure that you talk to them so that they can come up with a plan with you. And when you guys come up with a plan, if you need to modify, most likely they will have already given you some options. They'll be like, if this hurts you, like I always say, if you're doing a squat and your knees hurt, you have knee issues, don't do a deep squat, right? If you have something going on, you got tennis elbow or something, don't try to do a whole set of 12 reps. Do 5, do 6, And as always, contact your primary healthcare provider, may it be your doctor, nurse practitioner, your physician's assistant, your physical therapist, your occupational therapist, your dietitian, your nutritionist, your specialty doctors. By specialty doctors, you know what I mean. Heart, lung, kidney, doctors like that. Make sure that they're all on the same page and that they're communicating. Okay, because one doctor may say it's okay and another one may say, hold back a little bit. So you want to make sure they're communicating. And as I always say, they form a circle around you, which is an atom, and you are the nucleus of that atom, okay? You are the nucleus of that atom. So be as honest as you can with them, and hopefully they're being as honest as they can with you. And if for some reason you think, I don't know, maybe I need to go to a different doctor, do that. So always do your research, have it prepared and have it ready when, for your doctor's appointments. And that's another thing that we always talk about. Always keep your doctor's appointments. I see so many people that tell people what to do or recommend it, or they'll say, well, this is what I would do. You're saying that's what you would do, but you're kind of still trying to motivate other people to do right. So how do you encourage other people to do something like going to the doctor, going to get their physicals, and you don't do that? How do you do that? And he says, yes, I agree. So, how do you do that? I mean, you can do it, but it's like kind of like talking out of both sides of your mouth. I always use the example like when we're talking to kids, but we're all adults. When we're talking to our kids, some of us even tell them, do as I say, not as I do. Well, how far do you think that's going to go? How far do you think that's going to go? They're going to hear you, and out of fear of punishment or something like that, they're going to most times do what you say. But if they see you doing something, there are going to be some times where they're going to sneak and try it. They're going to sneak and try it. And he says, just got to my car. I'm going to be driving now, Lies. Okay, Annie, I'm about to get off of here in a few minutes. I really, really, really do appreciate you for coming on here. Thank you again, always for being such a great supporter. Thank you and Noel and Shawanda and who else came through here? Betty. I try to name everybody. Sin City, of course. My big sis, Sin City. Thank each and every one of you guys for coming through here. And this is a good time to get off. Because, y'all, it's like the more you go live, it's like you kind of get tired of staying on 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. I see now why a lot of people, it's kind of like 2 hours is top. Because I'm kind of feeling like an hour is good. Like 45 minutes to an hour is good. And some days maybe even 30. Because I'm just coming on here to do my live to encourage people and motivate people to look at the legs move. I know that makes some people mad for some ugly, strange reason. But that is what I've always said, and guess what? That's what I will continue to say, because that's what my lives are about. Motivate and encourage you to look at the legs move, so that you will be motivated to move your own, okay? So you'll be motivated to move your own. Move your arms. If for some reason you can't move your legs, move your arms, okay? Move your arms. Get in some physical activity. Like I always say, for 30 minutes each day, 7 days. And if you can't do 7 days, due to time constraints, strive for 5. If you can't do 5, you miss a day or 2, at least you've done 3. And that is the bare minimum for anybody, okay? Now, maybe when you're starting out, your doctor may say 1 or 2 days a week, and that's fine because we're all at different levels. We're all at different levels. Don't try to be like your neighbor, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your friend, your frenemy, your enemy, okay? The local YMCA member. Don't try to be like the people at the gym. Do what you can do. And if ever you need to slow down or stop, do that. Slow down and or stop. Okay, you know how you feel. Even though you and your doctor, your healthcare team may have come up with a plan, with a regimen, with a routine, it's still up to you. And I'm sure they're going to tell you, this is what we want to do. Okay? But if you feel any discomfort or any way tired, slow down, cut back on your reps if you're doing some weight training, some resistance training. If you're doing cardio, slow down and or just simply stop and try it again next time, okay? Try it again next time. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. So yes, please look at the legs move. Look at the legs move. And be you. Be you in all that you do. Be you. It's okay to take cues and signals and signs from other people, but know how to be you. Know how to make anything yours. They created a car hundreds of years ago, right? And look at how many different cars we have now. A lot of them are really, really similar, but there's definitely some distinct differences, right? There are definitely some distinct differences. Even when it's the same model, some models are of the exact same year. You know, some makes and models are the exact same year, and you will still have some differences. So learn to be you. Learn to appreciate you. That's what you should appreciate the most. My parents, all the elders in my family taught all of us as young ones growing up, be you. Be you. It's not even about somebody else is already taken. Being you is the best thing for you. Okay? Because it's a given that everybody else is already taken. So why not be you? You don't want to be a replica. A replica, okay? Imitator. Because you usually can't duplicate, right? And you'll find that being you, you just might be more successful in what you're doing just by being you. Just by being you. So again, I want you guys, if you haven't today yet, you still get up and move now. We'll be on here for another 10 minutes or so. Get up and move. Walk in place. I love the fact that Rock Just Living came over here. See, I give people their props too. Rock came over here and told us something. We were naming off all these things you could do, and she just simply said a simple walk in place. And she could not have been more right. You're moving, right? You're moving. And again, if for some reason you might not be able to walk in place, move those arms. Move those arms. Walk with those arms. Walk your arms. Okay, just swing them. Swing your arms. Swing your arms. Do something. Do something to get that heart rate up some. And as you know, you can find your maximum heart rate as relates to exercise. Google is great for that. And again, make sure you use a reputable source. The information over here is informational purposes only. Find that maximum heart rate. Okay? Once you find that, you take 55, 50. Some people may go as low as 50. Usually like 55 to 75% of that. Get a range, and that should be your target heart rate as you exercise, especially for weight loss. Okay, but everybody's not exercising for weight loss. Some people, most people, at the end of the day, I think everybody who exercises may not be exercising for weight loss, but we're exercising for fitness. Okay, cardiovascular fitness. We want to be able to move a little bit better, feel a little bit better. Okay, and when you incorporate weight training, resistance training with that, guess what? you're more toned, you're toner, your muscles are stronger, which means you can maybe go a little bit longer with your cardiovascular activity, with your aerobic activity, okay? So the stronger your muscles, hopefully the longer you'll be able to go when you're getting in your cardiovascular activity, okay? Find the HIIT that works for you. Find that high intensity that works for you. And it may not be able to be as high as you would like for it to be at first, but the more you do, the better you'll feel, the more energy you'll have, your stamina will increase, and your endurance will get better. Your stamina will increase, your endurance will get better, you'll have more energy. And if for some reason you don't, let the doctor know, let the nurse practitioner know, let the physician's assistant know, let whichever primary care doctor that you see know, and you guys can reformulate a plan, okay? You can reformulate a plan, you can remodify, you can go back and replan some things, redo some things, make some changes, Again, I thank you all for coming into this live chat. It is back to normal over here, and I'm loving that. Okay, I'm really, really loving that, and I really appreciate you. Like I always say, I appreciate my day ones. We have things that we do. They may not always be able to come in here, but when they do, look, when they do, I appreciate it. And for those who aren't day ones that come in here, as long as you come in here not being bossy, not being rude to the chat or me, you're just as appreciated. You're just as appreciated. So look at the legs move. Watch the legs move. Okay, they're moving kind of slow right now. Because we're taking in this breeze. I hope that the air isn't knocking against the microphone, because that is such an annoying sound when you hear the air just booming against the microphone. So it's not too windy, but there is a nice breeze, and I hope that it's not bothering you guys. And as I always say before I wrap up, don't let bothered people bother you. Don't let bothered people bother you. Those are the most annoying, okay? They're bothered already, so they want to have someone else bothered as well, right? Don't let bothered people bother you. Don't you bother anybody either. Right? I know sometimes we people, we may have like a rough day, a hard day, and we bother people. We do. We bother people. You have to acknowledge your flaws, right? I always tell y'all that one of my flaws is a lack of patience. I'm very impatient. Very, very impatient. So if I'm impatient when it comes to good things, I'm definitely impatient when it comes to bad things. Not tolerating bad things long at all. Okay? So before you formulate opinions of people, know who they are. And we all can't know each other, but as you come over here and you get acquainted in this chat, you start to know people. You start to develop YouTube ships. I didn't say friendships, YouTube ships, okay? And a YouTube ship doesn't have to be one that lasts forever and ever and ever. So don't let bothered people bother you. Don't let stressed people stress you out. Bothered people like to bother other people, and stressed people like to stress other people out. Okay? That is a fact. That is a fact. And misery definitely does love company. And it doesn't mean that the person is miserable. But sometimes people just like seeing other people be miserable. They may be happy as a lark. As long as they see chaos between other people and misery for someone else, that may be their joy, sadly. So when you find yourself in that misery lounge, in that misery place, that misery spot, that misery platform, get up and leave. It just takes one click. Just click off and leave, right? And if they come to you, it just takes another click. Remove them from your platform. There's so much other stuff they can look at. If you don't like what you see, don't look. If you don't like what you hear, don't listen. And most importantly, learn, learn, learn social media etiquette. Social media does have etiquette. They do have, it's not a formal, like a list that you can go find, but there are many lists that you can find. Just learn some social media etiquette and just realize that just because you don't like it or just because you like it doesn't mean the next person has to like it. Doesn't mean it's not gonna continue. Doesn't mean it's not gonna stop. It could stop and you can like it, but it just stops. It can continue though you don't want it to continue. So remove yourself from that place, because that sounds like that's a miserable place for you. That sounds like that's a miserable place for you. So never underestimate the people that you deal with, and never overestimate the people that you deal with. Never underestimate the people you deal with. Never overestimate the people you deal with. And stop expecting things out of other grown people that you don't know. All right? Okay, y'all. I had to mute a little bit because when you can hear, I'm telling y'all, I don't mute a lot now when I hear music, but when you can hear every word, every letter coming out of the mouth of the song, then you have to kind of mute. You have to kind of mute. So we're gonna end this video now, and I'm gonna wish you guys peace, positivity, and prosperity. And why do I say that? I always end with that. You can count the times I haven't ended with that. Because without peace, there's chaos. And some people will try to bring their chaos to you. Right? Don't let them. Without positivity, there's negativity. Wherever chaos and negativity live, breed, and roam, people tend to not prosper to their fullest potential. They tend to not prosper to their fullest potential. And always remember, yes, most of us, we would like to be have some type of positive impact on people. But just know, nobody's here to please you. Nobody is here to please you. So if you see something that's displeasing to you, find something that pleases you. It's just like when you're going to the mall, a shopping center, shopping outlet. You might not be into polo. They still have those little polo stores and stuff. You may not be into that. Well, would you go? So why go in there? Or if you go in there, you're gonna only be in there a few seconds, and then what? You're out. So when you find places on a platform that's not pleasing to you, leave. Leave. Don't expect people to change for you. Don't expect people to conform for you, because they're not seeking your stamp of approval. They're definitely not seeking your stamp of approval. So you guys watch the legs move. I hope it motivates you, encourages you, pushes you to move in your own way. Whether it's walking, cycling, using your elliptical, walking on your treadmill, walking on your walking pad, using your stepper, using your stationary bike. I think I said cycling, so you want to cycle, get outside and cycle, do that. Swimming, okay? Play some tennis, play some basketball. Get those sprints in, sprint, skip, jog, run. There are a plethora of things you can do. Walking, of course, seems to be the easiest thing. So if that's what you want to do, do that. And again, if you can talk, that's great. If not, it's good that you're walking. It's all about the moving. Keep moving. Keep moving consistently, persistently. Okay? Keep moving. Build those muscles. Get those muscles toned. Ladies, we don't have to look like the Incredible Hulk. Men, it's nice when you look like the Incredible Hulk. Ladies, you don't have to look like the Incredible Hulk, but men, it's nice when you do. We just want to be toned. And you got some men that don't want to look like the Incredible Hulk. They just have those nice physiques, naturally muscular and toned, but not overly so. It's just whatever you like. Whatever you like. It's whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Do the things that make you feel comfortable. Hey, Lynn, Just Being Lynn. Look, I saw Just Being Lynn, and I caught myself. I almost said kicking it with Lynn. Hey, Lynn, how you doing? Lynn says, hey, Lions Pride, and everyone in the chat. Hey. Thank you for coming in. We've been at this thing for about an hour. We're about to get out of here. But again, I want to say, again, don't seek anybody's stamp of approval. You don't owe anybody anything on these apps. On any of the apps. You don't owe people anything. Don't seek their stamp of approval. Because as soon as you try to live up to their expectations of you, what are you living up to? You don't know these people, and they definitely don't know you. Right? So if you've disappointed them in some way, or failed them in some way, guess what? They failed themselves because they expected too much from somebody they don't know. All right? They expected too much from somebody they don't know. And half the times they aren't giving themselves enough of what they expect from other people. I'm good. How are you? I see you getting that walk in. Yep. We getting it in. Just got done working out before we came on here to do our cool down walk. And you know my cool downs last for like an hour. Because that's my opportunity to come on here and go live and interact, engage, chat with everybody for a while. So came on a little bit earlier today because it's getting darker earlier and earlier. So by the time we get ready to fall back and set the clocks back, in most places it'll be dark around 5:30. It'll be dark around 5:30. It really will. So again, guys, I hope I've encouraged you to get up and move, motivate you to get up and move at your own pace. You know, there's nothing wrong with 7 days a week. If you can't, 5. Okay? Just in case you miss a day or two and you only end up doing, 2 or 3 days. That's the bare minimum. But again, if you're starting out, you know your healthcare situation. Your doctor may say, we're going to start off with 1 day a week. And that's fine, because at least you're doing something. Okay? Lynn says, yeah, I heard you. I was just working, but I was listening. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming in. I definitely appreciate you. I was just telling them I'm getting back to the chat that I love. The chat from people who I've been around for 4 or 5, some 6 years. And it's funny, but I've known Lynn for about, a good 4 years. So a lot of times you know of people and you start to interact with them more when you start to do content on your channel. And there are some people who I've always liked the way they are. I've always liked their content, and Lynn is one of those people. Because she's non-judgmental, but she's going to get her point across. And that's the way most of us should be. Of course, we have the right to our opinions and the things that we like, dislike. We have that right to express those things. But we also should, be aware that other people have those rights. And that's what I was talking about earlier, Lynn. Some people just feel like you are supposed to meet their stamp of approval. You are supposed to meet their stamp of approval. Some people feel like you can't disagree unless they get an attitude. Let's one or both get an attitude. That's just like saying, if I like blue and I don't like red, and you say, well, I love red. I don't really care for blue. You have some people who will literally take that and form an attitude, a negative attitude about it. Well, why don't you like blue? It's a really pretty color. Well, it's just not to that person's liking. Like, you will have some people who will legit fall out about something that simple. Lynn says, yes, I agree with you. Yeah, you have to let people, don't be on here. And then sometimes people want to get on here and talking about they this and they that. They don't like this. They tired of that. Well, 9 times out of 10, you're talking about another channel. Don't go. Simple solution. Don't go. Don't go, because you can't control an adult. Like I always say, we can't control, most of us can't control our children, whether they're adults or not. But they come on these apps, man, they want to control people on the app. Sorry, Charlie. Sorry, Charlie. Yeah, it's making something out of nothing. Exactly, making something out of nothing. And some people love to do that, and you can hear it in their tone when things aren't like I was saying yesterday. My grandparents used to always say, just right, just. That person is a really good person, but they ain't just right, just. You know, when they start, you know, we have all been guilty of being hypocritical. You know, even the simplest thing, you can be hypocritical. You can mean no harm. But you have some people who are like just total hypocrites. Like everything is a judgment. Everything they're criticizing. And you know, then they turn right around and do those same things. That's total hypocrisy. That's total hypocrisy. That is total hypocrisy. But they want to tell other adults what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad. As adults, we all have a pretty good idea of what's right and what's wrong, what's good and what's bad. We all have a pretty good idea of those things. But sometimes situations and circumstances allow you to maybe be bad, just like they allow you to be good. Just like they allow you to be good. But you have some people, yes, they will. I've literally heard and been a part of conversations where they're like, I don't like strawberries on my cheesecake. You don't? I love strawberries on my cheesecake. Why can't it end there? One person likes them, the other person doesn't. Here the other one comes. That's nasty. I just can't. And then when they say it like that, then the other one, well, it ain't nasty to me. A whole attitude in a small argument that didn't even have to happen. And sometimes it turns out to a big argument. Something that simple. Something that simple. Lynn says, and get mad with you for being honest. Right. Want you to go along, agree with them. Okay? That's what I was talking about earlier. You got some people that go along to get along, but they say they don't, but they do. And don't even be knowing the half of the story. Don't be knowing the half of the story. And on the app, nah, I got too many real life people that I know that I can deal with that. That I can deal with that type of stuff with. Not on an app. Not on an app. Not on an app. And it's like the more I say this, the more it seems like it needs to be said. If you can walk around the house mad at your spouse and don't talk to him or her for 2 or 3 days, some people 2 or 3 weeks, heck, some people 2 or 3 months, then why can't you maneuver around on an app, virtual app, and ignore people that you've never met in your life? That you've never met in your life. It's almost like it's a challenge that you don't. I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something. Oh, but you be scared to talk when you get that house. You be scared to talk at that house. Won't say something to somebody in the house with them for 2, 3 days, 2, 3 weeks, and get on these apps and act like they can't just ignore each other. Act like they just can't ignore each other. Or act like they just can't ignore whoever. Because a lot of times it's one-sided. A lot of times one party is going on about their business because it is going to be what it's going to be. And you got another party still sitting there stewing. Blood pressure up for nothing. Blood pressure up. You're right, just silly. Just silly. Blood pressure up for nothing. Ooh, calm down, little sensei. Calm down, sensei. So thank you for coming in, Lynn. I really appreciate you. I'm about to get out of here. It feels so good today. We've gotten cooler temperatures. So I hope it's cooling down and cooling off wherever you guys are, and that you're getting to get outside a little bit more. You know, with the fall, it's officially fall. So with the fall season, you know, it's not too hot. You usually get a breeze throughout the day or even towards the evening, so you can get out a little bit more, or you just won't be so hot. You know, you don't have to run your AC so much. So I hope that you guys are enjoying the fall. That's why I'm not gonna lie, summer is my favorite time of the, I think it's my favorite. All seasons are my favorite. But I guess I just love each one. With summer is when I do more traveling. So I guess that's why I say it's my favorite. But all seasons truly are my favorite. Because if I think about it, I love it. This cool breeze that we're getting right now during the fall. And when fall, now it can be hot for a long time depending where you are. It can be hot. You can be into the 80s and it can be still, it'd be like October. But usually in the evenings, first dark, it starts to cool off and cool down. And you can really sometimes even turn your AC off. So I love that about the fall. And I like traveling during the fall too. Winter, I like getting warm, staying warm, getting home from work and staying inside, getting cozy, just watching TV. The holidays are around the corner. I get home from work, but then sometimes I got to go out and shop. But once I'm done shopping, I'm ready to run back to the house and get out of the cold. So, and then spring, it starts to get that preview of summer, but it's kind of like fall. It's a little warmer during the day and it starts cooling off. Well, spring, I'll say it's a little bit more warmer than fall, I think. But at the end of the day, it does start to cool down a little bit. So I like all of them. I love all of them. Lynn says, you're welcome. Have a good night. Yes, it's cool here. My kind of weather. Yes, I love it. I think I say summer because I like to travel during the summer. You don't have to have so many clothes on, and you can just, you're hot, but you don't have to worry about having jackets, coats, sweaters, long johns, t-shirts, and all that stuff. So I do like to travel more in the summer. I like to travel in the winter too. You just have to be prepared for that frigid weather, that freezing, frigid weather. So I will see you guys on the next Let's Walk and Talk in Lives Pride. Please check out the shorts table. I'm predominantly a shorts channel. Check out the short rain videos. I don't have the 2 hour long videos anymore, but I do the 10 to 15 minute rain videos, the ocean sounds, just kind of help you relax. We like the R words over here. Rest, relax, release, relate to the things that you can, resolve the things that you can, okay, rejuvenate, okay, refresh, repurpose, right, refocus, reset, and restart, okay? And another word that we like is self, right? Self-love, self-care, self-improvement, okay? Self-control, self-respect. Think of some of those things. And always remember that before you start your exercise, think of the word radar. Okay, you start with R, end with R. When you start your exercise for that day, you want to start with stretching, end with stretching. That's how I remember things. I correlate things one to another. Okay, working out is just like my warm-up is my appetizer, right? My workout is my entree. My cool down is my dessert. And I come on here and I have a second cool down, a second dessert with you guys. And I appreciate you for spending some time with me. Okay, so y'all have a great rest of your Thursday. Thankful Thursday, thoughtful Thursday. For some people, maybe even thirsty Thursday, okay? But focus on being thankful and thoughtful. Think about the things that you're thoughtful about and that you're thankful for, okay? Think about the things that make you think. Be thoughtful. Be thankful. And you can be a little bit thirsty, especially if you're thirsting for something good. Especially if you're thirsting for something good. I'll see you guys on the next Let's Walk and Talk live in Lions Pride. To those who catch the replay, I appreciate you. Leave a comment if you catch it, wherever you catch it. You don't have to catch the whole thing. Whatever you catch, you hear something you want to contribute, leave a comment. Bye, y'all.